everybody.
everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I see everybody's in here wishing everybody a Happy New Year. So I guess before we say it, we better make sure everybody can see us and hear us. But yeah, Happy New Year to everybody. Some got to celebrate a little earlier than others, depending where you are in the world.
That's right.
So we hope everybody had a good time on New Year's, maybe cast on something new. Well, I didn't cast on something new until New Year's Day, but I did cast on something new and had to control myself from casting a whole bunch of new things on, but I have to finish some things. So anyway, we hope that everybody going forward here has an absolutely amazing 2024. You know, new year, new starts, new yarn. I don't have any new yarn yet, but at some point in the year. So I guess we should introduce ourselves. My name's Noelle.
I'm Kelly. And I just realized that my new yarn is not with me. It's sitting over there on the table. So you chat a minute. I'm going to go grab that.
Okay, well, we are coming to you from southwestern Ontario. It was a sunny day today, a little bit cool, not bad. We did have a teeny tiny bit of snow yesterday, but it didn't stay on the ground. But yeah, today was at least a nice, bright, sunny day, and we finally saw the sun after, I don't know how many days of gray, drizzly, yucky type weather. We finally saw the sun today, so that was nice. Yeah, so we've got a lot of things to go through tonight. We had our PJ party last week, and thank you for everybody that was there, and thank you for everybody that watched after. We had a fun time doing it, and we've got prizes to we have prizes to give out for that tonight. And we've also got a lot of year-end finishes and prizes to give out for that tonight too. So anyway, okay, so where do we want to start?
Well, gosh, I don't know.
First of all, we're both in southwestern Ontario this week.
Yes, let's start with who we are. How about that? Yeah, we are. We are both in southwestern Ontario this week. So, and we are did you say that we are a mostly knitting podcast?
Nope.
Okay. We are off to a great start in 2024. Yeah, so we are a mostly knitting podcast, and we come basically from the Sarnia area in southwestern Ontario, which is in Canada.
Canada, yeah, I should say that.
Yes, in Canada. And we are yarny friends. Friends first and yarny friends second, but sometimes maybe that's first. I'm not really sure, but we like to dabble in all the yarny things, and I'm super excited because I'm going to try my hand at weaving tomorrow too. So we'll chat about that later. And we come to you live each week. And this is just our little informal Knit Chat Cafe gathering. So I hope you have a project. If you are new here, welcome. If you, however you may have found us, welcome. It's a very friendly group. So if you have a keyboard near you and you want to participate in the conversation that is going down the right side of the screen, if you are on some form of a mobile device, please feel free to do so. Everybody in here, there were lots of people in here early, while chatting and wishing one another Happy New Year. And if you have, we don't often say this, but I do want to, if you're not catching us live and you're watching this after the fact, welcome to you as well.
Yes, for sure.
We try to include those who are not able to join us live. There's a lot of time zones in this world, and absolutely not everybody can be here at the same time.
Yep. So and it's not even time zones. I mean, a lot of people are in different points in their life. Like when my kids were little, there's no way I could have came and joined a podcast at 7 o'clock.
No. But being in BC last week, it came at 4 o'clock, and 4 o'clock is not an easy time to gather either, especially if you have children, because in Kendall's household, they were all trying to scurry around and figure what they could do for an hour and a half to keep quiet out of the house right in the middle of dinner hour while I was doing the podcast. So we certainly appreciate you coming in at any time to join us and to help us grow this community. And it is an amazing community that we are a part of, and we are truly privileged and blessed to be a part of it. So
we are, for sure.
I want to get that all out of the way. And okay, so now where do we want to start? I'm actually surprised tonight. You know what? When I went upstairs to get dressed, I thought, and yes, I do mean dressed. I took off the pajamas that I'd spent the day in. I knew I was going to change to come on here tonight. And I thought, well, there's really no point in getting dressed today. So I had my own pajama party today. while I was dealing with other household catastrophes. Number one being the fact that my washer died an outstanding death today. So we have purchased a new washer, but unfortunately it will not be delivered to my house until January the 11th.
Wow.
I did a bunch of laundry yesterday from traveling, and all of my laundry got done. Not sure what Mike is going to do for the next week and a half, but I'm sure I can always zip over to my son's house and do a load of laundry if I have to. But boy, oh boy, as soon as it was gone, I instantly wanted to wash everything in the house.
Oh, I know. That always happens. As soon as something is not there, it's like, I need this.
Yeah.
As soon as you say you're not going to buy yarn, there's a yarn you need. As soon as you say it. But,
yeah, well,
I
know.
I noticed some comments in here. Natalie said she has faith that I can go for at least a week. No, a week. I think she said a month. I think I can too. Especially, well, I think I can. I'll be that little like the engine. I think I can.
I don't know. Haley says that I should have just kept my pajamas on, but no. So what I was starting to say when I went upstairs to get dressed, I thought, oh, I want to wear this tonight. I don't actually think I've worn this on the podcast yet, but I thought, well, we often end up in similar colors or similar sweaters. And I thought, no way, no how is Noelle going to be anywhere near matching me tonight in orange, because orange is not a color that you work with. And look at you in some shade of a tangerine orange.
It is.
We must have. We have Knitting Friend ESP. I am convinced we have it. We just keep showing up in similar outfits. But anyway, it's all good. All good. So,
okay. So since we've got a lot of prizes to go through, why don't we go through? We'll go through half of them first, then we'll maybe do what we're wearing and then go through the other half.
Okay. Yeah, there are a lot. There are a lot.
So let's start with, do you want to start with the ones from the PJ party?
Let's do that, because that's a carryover from last week.
That's right. Okay, so I went through just before, and it was just before, like it was 6:30 when I was pulling these prizes. There were 481 comments. That's amazing. Thank you all for taking the time to respond. It was busy this week. I got to a few comments earlier, and then things just got busy, so I didn't get to all of the comments, but we did read them and we've gone through them. And yeah, so we pulled some prizes. So Kelly, you've got the prizes there.
I do. Yes, I do.
Yes,
I'll be right, and I will be right back with them. I have all the prizes from the things I did today, and I was thinking, oh, you were doing the drawing for that. I don't need that, but I'll be right back. They're just on the other side of the room too. Hold on.
Okay. So we had several things that we were giving out. So I've got 6 prizes here to give out. So Kelly's grabbing them right now, but I'll just bring up a couple of the names here. So the first one here is Erin Grange. And Erin has won. Let me just find, I do have a banner for this. Here we go. Erin has won a package of our Knits and Pieces little cards that have the sweaters with the different sayings on them. And then also our little bag that's got some of our favorite knitting things, which is cord to try on your sweaters as you're making them, and some little light bulb stitch markers, and our favorite little ring markers that you can put on your needles. So Erin Grange, you have won some of the cards and the cords. Okay, and then we had another set of cards and cords to give out, and that went to
Cards and cords.
Cards and cords. I'm just going to find Janet's. There we go. So that went to Janet Melanchuk. And I know YouTube has these names that they put on everybody's things, or numbers that they've attached to people's names. So it's Janet Melanchuk, 8484. And you have also won some cards and cords. And I should have said, like, the people are telling us what we're making. So Janet said she is going to knit herself a vest. She just has to pick which one I want to make. And yes, you can see Kelly, her gorgeous vest on tonight. And I want to make another vest too. Like,
me too.
Well, they don't take as much yarn.
And there's no sleeve island.
No sleeves. And they're great for when it's like not super warm, but they give you enough warmth through here. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. So Janet, you have also won some cards and cords. And I'm going to bring back the other one and see what she was going to make. So the other one was Erin. And Erin said, but she said she's from New Zealand. And she said right at the moment she's knitting dishcloths because it's too hot and humid to knit anything else.
Oh, gosh.
So there you go.
That is not a problem here.
That is not a problem here. Okay, so our next winner, we've got a set of 2 skeins of yarn from Ella Ray, and I believe it's the more, it's not the taupe ones, it's the other ones, whatever the other color was.
Oh, okay. This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so that is going to Tony Sweeney. Okay, so it's Tony Sweeney 4174, and she wins it's 2 skeins of Ella Ray yarn, so they kind of could go together in a shawl, or you could use them separately. It's 100% merino.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony said that she said, "Oh no, she missed the live, but it looked like so much fun. I'm about to cast on the Nutcracker Socks by Kay Jones." So there you go. That's what she's going to cast on. Okay, so the next prize that we've got is a skein of Manos del Uruguay, and I can't remember the name of the yarn. I know it's Manos, and I know it's the one that looks like spins Marla. Okay, so it's Manos Marla. So the winner of that is Heather Everston.
Oops, wrong way.
Okay, so Heather Everston 9991. And you've won a skein of the Manos, and I've already forgotten the name. Marla. Marla, okay. Manos Marla. So Heather says, what a wonderful way to spend my evening. Thank you, ladies, for a lovely place to meet up and be part of the awesome, inspiring knitting community. And I went farther into Heather's comments, and she said that she was using her Torino Knit Co. Advent, and she's knitting a sweet shop blanket with it. And then she's also continuing on her Eva cardigan by Petite Knits. So
Heather's on my Instagram feed. She is a prolific knitter.
She has
some beautiful, beautiful projects, and I can't wait to see what she's going to do with this. This is brand new yarn for the Little Red Mitten. They ordered it. Jolene was telling me that they ordered this a long time ago, and it took a long time to come in, but it is absolutely beautiful yarn. Okay.
Okay, so the next one, let me see here. The next one that we've got is the Sandy bag. So it is the gold one.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, and the winner of that is Clarissa McDearman 2237. So you're the winner of the Sandy bag. And Clarissa says, thank you for a great evening. I will be finishing the daily pullover and the honey moss shawl. So the daily pullover is by Paula Pereira, and it is a gorgeous, like a lot of people have done it in the linen quill by Pro Soho. And the other one I'm not familiar with, but I'll have to maybe look it up. So
I haven't heard of that one either.
It sounds like it would be an interesting pattern. Okay. And then the last prize that we have to give out is the bag by Heather from A Finch's Nest, who generously donated it to the podcast. Same with Sandy's bag. Sandy's so generous to the podcast. But the Sandy bag the Finch's Nest bag went to Patty Skaggs.
Which one is it? Is it the winter or the floral?
It's a floral.
Okay. Full confession, I just got all of the prizes from Noelle yesterday. We got together for a little visit at the coffee shop. So nothing got shipped out today because I was busy working on some things here. And tomorrow nothing will get shipped out because we'll be waiting for all of the names to come in. But I should be ready to ship out a boatload of prizes on Thursday? No, tomorrow. Yes, Thursday.
Yes, Thursday.
So this is the bag from Heather. This is so beautiful.
Bags 2168, and that's a beautiful project bag from A Finch's Nest. And Patty says that she really enjoys watching. I can't even read these. My eyes are so bad. Reading YouTube.
Okay, I can read it. I can see it.
Okay, you read it.
I enjoy watching you two each Tuesday night. I've never watched you live, but I plan to try. I'm knitting on my Christmas Eve cast on socks by Daniel, and that's all of the comments.
I think it's Danielle George, who is Little Bobbins, because she comes out with that pattern every Christmas Eve. So, okay, so that was all the winners from
the PJ party.
And let me just find our email address here.
Oh, sorry, I could have done that. We have a lot going on here tonight.
We do. Okay. There we go. Okay, so anybody that's won a prize, you can contact us at knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com. We will need your full name and your mailing address. I know it looks like the full name's in there, but sometimes YouTube does weird things and some letters get taken off. We just need your full name and your mailing address, and we will get those prizes in the mail to you. And congratulations to everybody that won a prize. Thank you again for joining us in the PJ party, and for anybody that joined us after. We really appreciated it. It made it a lot of fun, and a lot of fun for us too. So,
well, I have to tell you too, I had a great time doing the PJ party. And so I was at my daughter's house last week in BC, and that's where I podcasted for the PJ party. And after it was all over, Derek, her husband, had said to me, he goes, I have to hand it to you. He goes, you guys are all in. He said, the fact that you're sitting here in our living room in your pajamas and an elf hat. And he said, and that you convinced such a large group of people to send you pictures of themselves in their pajamas knitting, to put together in a slideshow, to post on the internet where anybody might see it. He goes, you guys are all in. He goes, you crazy knitters, you are all in.
We are.
It was so much fun, though. It really is.
Okay, so now we said we'll talk about what we're wearing. So, okay. Kelly, what are you wearing? Not pajamas.
No, I'm not. And you know what? Because I put this on at the last minute, I don't think I brought in any of the information.
Do you have a banner for it?
I may have.
I don't see one.
No, I may have taken it out because I thought, oh, hey, okay, I'll make one really quick. Why don't you talk about yours? How about that?
Okay. I am wearing my field sweater by Camilla Bad. Let me just find the banner for that. Here we go. Okay, so this is actually, I knit quite a few sweaters, and I don't get a chance to wear them a lot because a lot of times I've got to get in the habit more of wearing my sweaters instead of just thinking, okay, I'm not going out, so I'm just going to keep it for good. No, I need to wear them because I like them. I don't want anything to be too precious that I'm too worried about wearing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had the joy of knitting it. Now I have the joy of wearing it. So
absolutely.
This is by Camilla Bad, and this was done, and I do have a picture in here. This was done in Roots and Rain Trillium. And the Trillium was a blend that she did with I believe it was the Rideau Arcot. And it was blended with nylon, because I think you can do socks out of this. I think you might have done socks out of this yarn.
Yes, maybe. The Trillium? Did I?
I think you did. Anyway,
is that my Unity socks? Okay.
Yes, it's a gorgeous yarn, and the colors, it's all botanically dyed, like it's all naturally dyed. So she uses red onion, chestnut, and Eastern Brazil wood is what's in this particular blend. This is, I know it was a sock yarn, but I know that she also said that I think it is a little bit thicker, and I think you might have found that when you knit your.
You're right. I did knit with this one.
Yes.
Because I use the indigo colorway. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I think it is a little bit thicker. So this knit up perfectly at the gauge for this sweater. I really do like it. I love this color. I'm not necessarily sure that this color is the best color for my skin tone, but I wasn't thinking that when I bought it. I just bought it because I like the color. But I think if you do a little tiny scarf or something at the neck, so it kind of separates the color from your face, it just
absolutely
breaks it up a little bit, right? So it doesn't look like all one color up to my face. So this little scarf with just a little bit of navy and the cream in it kind of helps break it up a little. And because this is just a plain crew neck, it kind of just adds a little bit for this time of year too, because the sweater just has like 3/4 length sleeves. I only use 2 skeins of yarn in this, so it's just 3/4 length sleeves. Yeah, I like it. I love the feel of it. I like the weight. And it actually, I think I have worn it a couple of times, but it is actually really nice. And I find a lot of times, like I'm gravitating towards more shorter sleeves, because half the time when I have long sleeves on, I'm pushing them up anyway. Because usually I'm doing something where I'm washing my hands or, so anyway, happy with the sweater. I didn't mind doing this stitch at all. I like doing something different. I like texture or something that's, I have a hard time with the plain stocking stitch. So, but I like doing something that's textured or something a little bit interesting going on.
Yes,
so.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I know even when I'm in the kitchen, if I do have on something with long sleeves, constantly turning them up because you just don't want your sleeves to be into anything, right?
No.
And so I do tend to knit quite a few 3/4, or I guess it's actually called bracelet length. Like if you take it down a little bit.
Well, this is probably
longer.
A little shorter. If I had it came down a little bit more,
yeah.
it would be. But I mean, I'm not so sure I like them as much here or where it come to here where the bend is in your elbow. So I like it either like above or below.
Yes. I did that once with a sweater where I ended it kind of, well, right where the shirt is. And I didn't like it as a sweater, but I do like it either a 3/4 or bring it down a little closer to the watch. That's okay too.
Okay. So Kelly, what do you have?
All right. So now I'm ready. I'm wearing the Riptide Vest by Jennifer Shields Toland. And I had these on my desktop, so I was somewhat prepared. So I'll bring in a couple of pictures to show, so you can see sort of the entire vest instead of me standing up. So this is sort of where it sits. It is a split hem. I guess that doesn't show in this pattern, but it's such a clever pattern. It's simple. It's not that it's a hard pattern to do, but it has that really lovely detail. And if you look down here, like you can't see my mouse. I'm sorry. I'm rolling my mouse across my screen. I know you can't see it. But like the shaping here, I think this is really professionally finished. It's really clever. Then it sort of has this little side panel of the broken stitch, and it does have a split hem. So I also like a split hem, and I couldn't love this pattern more. Really, I couldn't. It's just so
I have
nice.
to do that one. I love it. It like that color looks amazing. I don't know what that color would look like on me, but I've been waffling back and forth. I want to do this and I don't know what color to do it in.
Well, I have to admit, this would not be a color that I would walk in and gravitate towards any way, shape, or form. But this came about because of when we went to Rhinebeck and we went into the Pick Up Every Stitch store, they had a vest sample, which you knit the vest. It was the Friday slipover, done in this colorway. And I instantly loved it. And you know what? It wasn't just me. There were quite a few people in the store that were like, oh my gosh. And like I said, this is not a color that I would gravitate towards by any means. It's nothing else that I have in my wardrobe, but I love this pop of color. And it's amazing to me that even though it's so vibrant and you're instantly thinking pumpkin orange, it's not. It's and I should have said too that the yarn is the Moondrake yarn and it is the Cordale DK. And I used what did I say that I used? I think about 2.3 skeins. Does that sound right? Or was it 2 skeins? Sorry, the details are on my Ravelry page. I knit this one over a month ago now, so I can't quite remember. But I know that it was really, I think I did dip into that 3rd skein now that I'm thinking about it. Yes. But it's long enough that, it has a decent length over top of shirts when I'm wearing it with jeans. I haven't tried it with a dress yet. I don't have a dress that would go with this color. So that's something I'm going to have to make one, I guess. Yeah. I was looking for a shirt that had a turquoise teal in it, and I was going to buy the fabric and make one. And tonight when I went upstairs to get dressed, I had planned to wear this today, but the laundry I wanted to do was all of the white clothing that I brought home that didn't get done. So my white shirt happened to be in there. And when I went up there looking through my closet, lo and behold, there's this one with these like turquoise flowers. And I'm like, that's literally the exact color I was looking for. What would it look like to have a pattern? I wasn't sure about the pattern, like with this pattern. And I have to admit, I really like it. I think I would wear this.
Looks good with that.
I would wear this out of the house. And
it doesn't look like 2 separate patterns. Like it doesn't. So no, it looks good. Everybody should make that vest. I think it looks. I just want to do something with that pattern again too.
Don't just stop with the vest, because she's got the vest. She's got a shawl. She's got the mitts. I'm going to show you those later. She's got a cowl. Everything Riptide. All Riptide things. So
and the stitch looks more difficult than it actually is.
It does.
Like the stitch is super simple, and
it's one of those stitches. Yeah, and now that you've done something with this little little stitch in it, now you want to put it everywhere. It's like,
Oh,
I had that, a few years ago, I knit those shell socks by Helen Stewart. And then I started putting that little shell stitch in everything I made
yeah.
because it was just a convenient little, it wasn't a cable, but it was detail. And sometimes it's really nice just to have a small, this is done over 4 stitches. So it's a nice little space to put into a sock, just to give you that little bit of an open work. You could add it into hats. I mean, heck, you could do it anything you like. But when I was actually reading today her background on the pattern, she said that this all came about from an unfortunate tennis incident. When she was starting off the tennis season, she tore both calf muscles. And so she, I know, right? She was thinking, so then she had lots of knit time. So that's when she designed this Riptide collection. And I forget what she said she was first going to call it, like I ripped it or something like that. But then she settled on the Riptide, and it kind of added in like an entire pod, can we say, or capsule of designs that she kept, she was just inspired by it, and she kept, designing and designing. So anyway, it's a lovely pattern. It's fun to knit on, and yeah,
and it is.
we're
And
not
once you
stopping
see
here.
that stitch, it's amazing how many other times
And then you
you
see it
look at
everywhere.
and that stitch is in there, and then you see it. That's like, yeah. Anyway,
I know
it is
you.
a fun pattern.
Yes.
So, okay. So actually, before we go to more prizes, there were a few comments or a few questions. So we'll just kind of go through those, just so I don't forget. So I had a comment from a viewer, and we often talk about different sock heels. And she recommended this Japanese or pinned short row heel. Now, I have heard of it. I've not done it. I did watch the tutorial that she recommended. The tutorial was by the Chili Dog, and I am going to plan on using it and see how it goes, because the way it works, you use stitch markers on both sides of the heel. It's a short row heel that can be worked either top down or toe up. So it's versatile in that way. And you don't ever have to do like a wrap and turn or a twin stitch or a double stitch or anything like that. So what I really like about the look of the final sock, and what she said too, was you don't have that bulk. Like, you're just kind of doing it with a bar. I'm sure people have done it. I'm sure there's people in here that have done it. But yeah, I'm going to try it next time I do a short row heel, because that's one of the things when you do a short row heel that I don't like. It seems like that seam, that diagonal seam at the heel, sometimes depending on what method you use, is a little bit thick.
Yes.
Because you've got times when you're doing a shadow wrap, you're going back on triple stitches, right? So it gets a little bit thick. So this avoids that. And the video looks pretty simple as far as the more I think you do it, the easier it would get. The biggest thing was that it uses stitch markers, and you've got to put like locking stitch markers on each side. So at the point where you're ready to go back across the heel, you've got all these stitch markers across the heel. But I am going to try it. And once I've tried it, I will get back to you and let you know. But in the meantime, if anybody's interested in it, I will make sure that I put that link in the show notes so that you can go and watch it and see what you think.
Awesome.
So, and then the same viewer also let me know about, this is a bind off, so you can use it on a toe up sock. And we have talked about the Lori's Twisty bind off for the knit 1 purl 1 rib. Well, this one is a bind off that she uses when she's doing knit 2 purl 2 rib, which is still gives you the stretch, but doesn't give you that little frilly edge that you get sometimes when you do the super stretchy. What is it? I never forget whether it's Jenny or Judy.
Is it Jenny's super stretchy bind off, I think? Yes.
It's either Jenny or Judy. One has a magic cast on and one has a stretchy bind off. I can't remember which one's which, but this one is not. This one's Sheena's. Okay, so this is Sheena's stretchy sock bind off. And again, I will link that. I kind of looked through it too. It looks really simple. I think it's kind of a take on the super stretchy one, but you're only doing those yarn overs every other instead of every stitch.
Okay.
But they're positioned in your ribs so that it makes a nice bind off for a 2x2 rib. So I will put that in the show notes as well.
Okay.
Okay, and then we had a question about our sock knit along that is going to continue on into 2024. It feels funny to say that. I wrote the date down today for the first time, writing 2024, and I thought, oh man, I remember when we were so worried about the year 2000, and now it's 2024.
I know, the Y2K thing, right?
Yes.
Oh, the world was going to end.
Yeah. So, But anyways, they had asked whether shorty socks were okay, and yes, shorty socks are fine. And they had looked at a pattern. It was house socks. House socks made in DK weight yarn are fine too.
Absolutely.
Okay. We don't really want slippers that are just slippers on your feet, but if they're actual socks, then that's fine.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then the last question. Oh,
okay.
Do you have a question? I was just
going to go through a few. Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. So the last question was, this viewer is doing a ranunculus and she's down at where she does the rib and she does not want the rib to cinch in. So she wanted to know whether I stayed on the same needle or whether I went up a needle size to do the rib. So like I got back to her and I said that I stay on the same needle size. And then I find in blocking, if I have done that, I can actually block that rib to the width that the body was above the ribbing.
Having said that, yes. But having said that, taking a little step back to my Wilfreda sweater, I would say I would normally stay on the same stitch to do the ribbing because that's the look that I like as well. But since my Wilfreda, which was knit with a fingering and a mohair, was knit at a very loose gauge, when I did my traditional twisted rib waistband, it actually, it didn't flare out, but it also doesn't sit flat. So in that case, because it was such a loose gauge, and even though I did a twisted rib, it still didn't quite, to me, it looks too loose. And you saw it. I showed it to you when we were in Toronto. So I have to redo that. So I am actually going to dip down a needle size to do that. So I think that would be, depending on, I don't know what she's making her sweater in, but I would caution that.
Yeah, it'll depend on your yarn too, because like when you've got a mohair doesn't have a lot of stretch in it. No. So it's not doing a lot of cinching in to start with.
No.
I probably definitely wouldn't, but she's saying you didn't go up a needle size to do it.
I definitely didn't go up. No, I definitely didn't go up.
So she's asking if she should go up a needle size.
No.
And I would say no. But again, everybody, you can't really put a blanket statement on it because everybody's knitting is different. Everybody's tension is different.
Absolutely.
Whatever particular yarn you're doing that sweater with can behave differently. Like a wool's going to behave differently to a superwash wool, to an alpaca, to a mohair, to a silk, to a cotton. So, there's a lot of factors to take into consideration. Like
what I might suggest, and Lord knows I hate suggesting to swatch, but if you've got extra yarn, I would maybe suggest trying the needle size and then using the look that you feel comfortable with. Because as you said, even if it does cinch in ever so slightly, you can generally block that out straight.
Yeah.
And I know like my other ranunculus sweater that I've done, I've just used the same needle and I had no issue whatsoever, but that Wilfreda was a looser stitch. And honestly, I'm not happy with that waistline. So I do have to go back and redo that. So
I have more of a problem in finding that if I want a sweater to come in at the rib, going down a needle size small enough so that it stays like that and doesn't stretch out.
Yes, but you also you often already are down needle sizes. Or no, you go up needle sizes.
Usually up,
that's right.
Yeah.
You're usually up. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yep. So,
okay. No, I just had.
So what were some of the comments here?
Comments that I had picked in here. Emma was suggesting that with this vest, I could wear a navy dress. And I do have a navy dress that would look good. And also Emma, after I read that comment, I was thinking a denim dress would look really good with this too, because I was planning, if this shirt didn't work out, my second choice was going to be to grab one of my denim shirts to throw on with this. And I think this would look really nice with a denim dress as well. And then Holly is suggesting maybe we should have a vest along. And Holly, that is an along I could get behind. Absolutely. So maybe we'll have a chat about that this week and we will get back to you on something along that. Now, and Isabel, thank you very much. Isabel popped in and said that my Riptide vest used 2.35 skeins, 643 yards of that particular DK. So it's a really effective project, and lots of people have a couple of skeins. If I had wanted it to be a little more cropped, I probably could have got away with the 2 skeins, and I made the size. Oh, Isabel, did I make the size 2 or the size 3? I'm not sure. I think it was a size 3. So, and then Joy was asking if we need a cable needle or knit the second stitch before the first stitch. And I think she was talking, because it was when we were talking about this pattern. No, this is, you don't need a cable needle at all. It's not a cable. It's very, very easy to do. Okay.
Okay,
all right.
So Julie had a question. She said she hasn't done the Icelandic bind up yet, but looks like it would be a good match to the long tail cast on or for garter stitch. It does look great with the long tail cast on. And I've got a project that I'll show later on that actually I just tried a new bind up that I hadn't used before. And it was Elizabeth Zimmerman's sewn bind up, and it looks great for garter stitch. So, yes, but I think that the Icelandic would look great too, though. And then Marg had asked what our new favorite cast on for the year was, and it's the alternating
cable cast on.
So we didn't even have to ask each other. We both know it's the alternating cable cast on. It can be used for 1x1, and you can also convert it to 2x2.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, that's our new thing. If we have something to take away from the year 2023, it was the year we learned the alternating cable cast on. And it pairs really, really well with a tubular bind off, or the Italian sewn bind off, which is kind of like a tubular bind off, but you don't have to do the setup row. So it's a cheat. Yeah. So which is the one that I always use. And thank you, Isabel. She says a size 3. Thank you so much, friends, for those of you that are out there that help us out and do our back of show for us when we have questions. That's really, really appreciated.
Okay. So there's another question here. Can a confident beginner make the field sweater? I know that there were people that did have trouble with the stitch. I would suggest that if you want to try it, do a swatch just of this to see how you feel about it. If you've done a lot of sweaters before, you'd probably be fine. I mean, I found the instructions I found them easy enough to follow. It just, some of the stitches are a little bit fiddly, that's all. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, that's what I would do, is do a little swatch of this particular pattern and see if you like it. If it's your first sweater, I would say, no, you should probably do something simpler first, just to get the whole sweater construction thing down. But if you've done, a couple of sweaters and you've done them in the round, it's just, again, it's not difficult. It's just fiddly. So it takes a little bit longer. So, okay. So are we going to go into some more prizes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I'll get the banners. You get the prizes.
Okay. So
okay. You tell me which one and I'll pull it
up. Let's start with our socks. All right.
Okay.
So as you all know, we have an annual, how many years have we done this? 2 years running now, or 3 even? All 3 years?
I think it's 3. I think this was the 3rd. Yeah.
Okay. And so it's our socks. You start. Oh, I did lock the thread today, by the way. I have to mention that there were 2 or 3 people. I know Nick is one of them that posted something on January the 1st. Go back in. We haven't opened the new thread yet for 2024. Give us a couple of days to get that opened, and then go back in and repost it in the 2024 thread. And there were just a couple of you. So if you're out there and you know who you were, go back in and have a peek. So we start January, we go all the way through to December. You finish socks, you enter socks. We draw every month, and every month has, for 2023 anyway, had 2 prizes. One was a pattern prize from our friend Natalie of Remembrances Pottery, who has some amazing patterns, and it was a pattern of your choice. We would give you a code and you choose. And then we always do a sock yarn. That's the second prize. And then this year, what we decided to do, so we did that all year long. And then Natalie, again, donated a grand prize, and I'll just show you what this is before we go to small screens. So she donated one of her very hard to get your hands on mugs. And this is the mug that she donated.
Gorgeous.
And it matches our colors tonight. It's like we planned this, Natalie. It's so beautiful. And I love her handles, and it's got her little stamp on the bottom. Gorgeous mugs. And she donated this. So we did like a 3rd draw, which was the grand prize. So for the month of December, though, starting out, we'll start with December. The pattern prize winner is Peggy. I think Peggy's won before, not for these socks. You can't win for the same pair of socks, but you can definitely,
that's right.
Yeah, you keep entering. And I wanted to mention too, we came so close. I think I said last month, could we get 3,000 pairs in there? 2,991 pairs, friends. My goodness, were you busy knitting? That was amazing.
Well, if we added yours and mine in there, they'd be over.
Yes, it was. Well, actually, by January 1st, it was over. I think it finished up at 3,001. Wow. So there's a few people that have to go in and move their socks over. So anyway, this was pair number 1877. And I just forget what her pattern was, but it's a really pretty pattern.
It's very pretty. Yep.
And if there's anybody out there that thinks, oh, well, I just never know what to cast on for socks, just go back into any of these 2 years and look. If you need inspiration, that is the place to go. So congratulations, Peggy. We will go through all of the prizes and then we will review how to get in touch with us for everything. Okay. So that was the pattern winner. And then the yarn, I'll show this before we pull up the winner is this month is the Full Moon Fibers. And this is their 50/50 sock set. And I love this one because this colorway is called Time Spent Together, which I think is perfect for our podcast and our little knit chat cafe. And then this one is Midnight Plum, and they pair so beautifully together. There's so many gorgeous colors in there. We love Allison and Jessica from the Full Moon Fibers. It's two sisters that dye and sew, and we've enjoyed them since they started, like early on when they started dyeing. But I just find now they are truly growing into their color sense, and everything they come up with, it's just so beautifully curated, and these colors are gorgeous. So the winner for this yarn is Kristen, whose Ravelry name is KB for me, and she was number 653. And if I remember, she knit a lot of socks this year. And I love that particular pair.
I know, those are gorgeous.
Really pretty, really nice. Okay. And then we have the grand winner for the year. So this one goes all the way back from the beginning of the year. And the winner of Natalie's mug is... Drum roll, Ellen, who is Bookworm 33329. And she also knit a boatload of socks. And these ones are
gorgeous too.
I zoomed in on them on Ravelry. So if you want to check her out on Ravelry, that's her name. And she is a prolific sock knitter. She had a lot of projects in there. So congratulations. Nice. So that is our sock along for the year. And then what else did we have going on? So we also had the Marie Wallen, or the Burra Cowl. Okay, you talk about this one. This one like tongue tangles.
Okay, so it is the Burra Cowl, but you could knit any Marie Wallen pattern or any Susan Crawford pattern, and their patterns included, like, there were crochet patterns, there were patterns for mitts, hats, scarves, shawls, sweaters, cardigans, berets. So you could pick whatever you wanted. And originally we started, a lot of people were doing the Burra Cowl, and I must say, I did not finish mine.
I wasn't even going to point that out.
Fail. Anyways, it will get done. It is a project that I still want to get done, but I did not finish it because, there's always something new and shiny that wants to get on those needles. So
I think that's the problem with that whole long year cowl, is that you keep thinking you have time, and then you put pressure on.
And then that's right.
Which is why this year's year-long Advent along is going to be so much easier. But we're going to talk about that later.
Didn't work for me before, but anyways, we'll see.
You Advented along with your 15 pairs of socks.
I did, but I ended up doing most of them in November and December. So. Okay, so
but you're a step ahead because you said you already have next year all planned out. So
I do have it planned out. I had it planned out last year. Anyway, so the winner of the Burra Cowl or Mal is going to get a $50 Etsy gift card, so that they can, and that's Canadian, so that they can purchase from. There's lots of yarny goodness or project bags or things like that on Etsy. So our winner is Liz, and it's Lizbeth A, and she actually did the Burra Cowl, and it's a gorgeous cowl. I want it. I just haven't gotten back to it. So it's because there's so many colors in it. I have to have so many colors sitting beside me when I'm doing it, but I will get back to it. it'll be finished. It'll be finished. You're hearing it now by the end of 2024.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
And if you say it on here, then you have to make it so.
That's right. That I have
That's
to do
what
it.
we've
I think I
learned,
said
yes.
that last year, but okay. And then
there's more.
Our last knit along that we had going was our Smash That Stash. And we have a couple of prizes for that because we do a prize every quarter. So we've got the quarter that ended in December's prize. And then we've also got the whole all over for anybody that had a project in each of the 4 quarters. We had we had a draw and picked, and that person wins Delicu. What is it called?
I've got all of this.
Roll top. Okay. Yeah. And then we'll do the month one first, the quarter one first. So that is a Sandy bag.
Yes. And it's this bag here.
Oh, beautiful.
It is so cute. And it's got all the knitty things on there, all the knitter sayings. Time
to unwind.
Time to unwind, to knit or not to knit, why grow where you are planted. I don't know, just so to knit or not to knit, it says there is no question. Her bags are absolutely beautiful. It has this is a big, deep pocket at the front. There's also a pocket on the inside. Again, it has a zipper, and then it's a pocket, a pocket as well as the zipper. Yeah. And she coordinates her insides to the outside. And this, we have taken so many of these to yarn festivals and yarn stores. And let me tell you, they hold a lot. They're beautiful bags. And we so appreciate Sandy gifting us these to send out to you.
Okay. So the winner for that,
for the 4th quarter,
Emma from Em's Little Nest.
Yes.
So congratulations, Emma. And that's a beautiful shawl that she's got around her neck there. It was nice to see people using their stash, and I'm hoping to do a little bit more of that. I mean, I'm definitely not going to say I'm not going to buy yarn this year because that just won't happen, but
that's just crazy talk. That is just crazy.
I am going to try and use more of my stash. So
absolutely.
Anyway, beautiful shawl, Emma. Okay. And then
okay. Next prize. I'm telling you, never mind smash your stash. It's going to be so nice for me to get all of this out of the studio.
I know when a lot of the prizes were sitting here, Ross is like, when are you bringing those to Kelly?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Go fill her house up with them. But anyway, so I'll be happy to get everything out. So this is the grand prize winner for Smash Your Stash. And what you had to do to qualify for this was to enter something in Smash Your Stash for each quarter, one entry for each quarter. And this is the Delicu, is it the roll top?
I think it is.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah. So you can undo it, and it's quite a large bag, and it's got the Delicu bags have everything built in there for knitters. Like there's a thread cutter, there's a needle that comes with it, like a darning needle. There's a little notebook. There's a place. I think there's a yarn guide in it as well. You can even thread yarn through it.
Yes.
And it's perfect. It's a waxed canvas, so it kind of you can wipe it down a little bit if you
more
need
zippers
to.
on the back.
And it's got little feet on the bottom to set it down on something. Lots of little nooks and crannies to put all your knitting stuff in.
Yeah, beautiful leather accents too. It really is a gorgeous bag.
Okay, so our grand prize winner for that is Jackie. And she's Bayou Jack. So
she's from New Orleans. And I have to say, I wrote a little note about this because I thought this might take me some time, that I was going to have to keep drawing until I found somebody. The first random draw that I did, lo and behold, she put something in every quarter. And you know what? She didn't just put one thing in every quarter. I wrote this down. She put a total of 28 projects in, starting in January through to the end of the year. She is a very, very busy lady. And let me tell you, she did crochet projects. She did knitting projects. Like just a wide range. She had hats, she had sweaters, she had shawls. She did it all. And the other cool thing that she did was that she was recording. Like I think this particular sweater, which was the 2620 entry, was I think she said she had 300 yards. So for every entry that she put in, she wrote a note that said how many yards that she took out of stash.
Oh, so that's awesome.
She's got to be way stashed down by the end of the year. Congratulations.
Okay. And so for all of our winners, you can contact us at knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com. Again, we need your, if it's for the pattern prize, we don't need your address for that, but for everything else, we need your full name and your address. Mm-hmm. So, and we will get those prizes in the mail to you, or Kelly will get those prizes in the mail to you. And yeah, so we hope you enjoy them all. And thank you everybody for participating in all the knit-alongs all year long. It's so nice to see what people are making and, you know, the yarns that they're using and inspiration everywhere. So
Mindy's asking how many total entries for Smash That Stash. I did write that down to Mindy. 3,910 entries for the year. Wow. So that's a lot of stashing down. I'm pretty impressed with that number. I'm hugely impressed with that number. And I just want to thank everybody that joined in for all of our Makealongs this year. I'm going to need a tote box to get to the post office. I think that will not be a walk to the post office day. That will be a drive to the post office day for sure. So congratulations to all of the winners. You guys are amazing. Amazing. And we've got some fun things in store for the year coming up. And we're probably not going to go into detail on that tonight because we're still formulating some things. We've loosely alluded to some, but we've got a few things that we want to show off tonight. So we're going to leave that, let that percolate to next week. And then we'll come back with like a slide and full details of how you can join in. So keep knitting this week. Don't stop knitting and just hang on to those projects. And we're going to let you know where to enter them. Also, before we move into the next thing, I see Paige is in here tonight from Frame and Fiber. I want to say hi, Paige. And I still can't believe that we were at Rhinebeck together and I actually didn't get to lay hands on you personally. We've been Instagram kind of buddies for a while. And she used to podcast regularly and I never missed an episode. And then I follow her on Instagram and I know she's been following me. And I cannot believe that I didn't see her there. Anyway, next year.
Okay. So do you have any finishes?
I do. I have two finishes, which is huge in my world, as we know. How many do you have?
I have 3.
Okay. Well, then, dang it. You get to start again.
Okay.
One of these weeks, lady.
Okay. So my first one is my Deep Dean pullover.
Okay. I'll look for banners.
Okay. There's a banner and I think I put a picture in, but it's a Deep Dean by Beth McDonald Stone. Okay, so this is done in Full Moon Fibers Crackpacka, and the Crackpacka is a blend of 45% alpaca, 45% merino, and 10% silk. And it is a gorgeous yarn. It's just amazing. The feel of it, it's just beautiful. The color
can I just say that looks amazing.
Thanks.
That looks amazing. It's beautiful.
It's called Ice Fell Snow. So I think that's why I bought it. Because I like snow. So here is the sweater. And it is, I did a little bit of, Beth's got 2 versions of it. There's a version that's just a solid color. And then there's a version where she color blocked. So I kind of did something in between. So I just wanted to add a little bit. So on a couple of the rows, there's some garter detail in it. So what I did was I added 2 strands of mohair. So I had some leftover mohair from Leo and Roxy, and it was their Meredith color. And then I had another one from, who was it? What was it? Diamond Bliss Divine that I had knit a hat with, and it was just a blue. But when I put the blue and gray together, it gave me the color that kind of matched this that I wanted. So it is top down. And it's really fun to knit because it's all texture. So you never get bored. There's always something different and something changing. Mm-hmm. So I think I did the smallest size, but I was not getting row gauge. I was shorter. So in this section here, I added just another repeat of the pattern before I separated for the sleeves. Yes. And then the bottom of it was fine because even though my row gauge, I still did the number of rows, but because I'm short, it worked out fine. So, And then you've got the rib down at the bottom, and the rib down at the bottom, you can see that the rib at the back is actually a little bit longer. So there are some short rows in the rib at the bottom.
And the short rows in the rib at the top too.
Yes. Yeah.
At the back,
and then the sleeves are relatively easy because they're just basically knit straight. And then you kind of do a rapid decrease and do your cuff. I did added just that little bit of detail in just to match where I put in the alternating colors up around here, just so it
Oh,
had a little
nice.
bit
I
at
like
the bottom
that.
of the sleeve. And yeah, it was a fun knit. It was this one I actually started later and finished before. I was doing 2 tests for Beth, and this one I
Yes.
started after and finished before because there's a lot of interest in knitting in the
there's
like
none
the
of that
detail.
boring
There's no
stockinette.
well, except
Absolutely.
the sleeves, but they weren't too bad. And because this is a DK weight sweater, although it's funny because it's DK weight, but I knit this on a 3.25 millimeter needle.
And that's what I'm on too, in order to get gauge.
Because I think the stitch gauge is, if I'm not mistaken, is it 23?
Mm-hmm.
Was that the stitch gauge?
23.
But
yes.
anyway, so this pattern has not been released yet. I think it's set for somewhere around the end of January.
Yes,
so,
it is.
And I'm loving my little brick bubble markers. So,
yes, can you show that up close, because Kayla was asking about those too, and Cheryl as well.
Okay.
You do a close up on them
first. You'd have to tell me if you can see it.
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. So those are just the little tags that I ordered from Brick Bubble. And then I actually brought the other things over. These are, I forget, Chicago screws, I think they're called. But these
are they Chicago studs?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So I just ordered this on Amazon, and then I got a whole bunch of them. Like, so I've got different colors. So there's gold, silver, like nickel, copper, antique gold. So I just kind of pick whatever color of this kind of goes the way I want with the sweater. And I mean, these were not very expensive, and those are like, it'll be a while before I run out of those.
Yes.
So, but I am probably going to order. I really like the Brick Bubble tags. I am probably going to order. These ones just have my initials on them. I think I'm going to order ones that say love from grandma or something for the kids.
That would be really cute. Really nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so look for this pattern when it comes out. It's a gorgeous pattern. So, okay.
Okay. And then I didn't get my socks finished for my son-in-law for Christmas, so I brought them home, and now they're finished. So now I have to mail them back too. There is Molson Canadian socks that I made, and the yarn is the Timber Yarns marled sock yarn. This was the color, what was the blue color, Noelle? Peacock blue. And then this is naturally white and just plain red. And then I had minis in both of them. Like, surprisingly, and this is a 72 stitch sock, because of all of contrasting heel, contrasting toes, and then the stripey up here, I didn't even use a half skein of the peacock blue.
Of the peacock? Wow.
Yeah, I know. I was really shocked, because to me that looks like a lot of.
Sometimes Heather skeins are. Did you weigh the skein before you started?
I might have forgot. So I think it was a fat skein. It had to. I mean, I could weigh the socks, right? But I guess I could do that.
No, I know. I
wouldn't really know.
Yeah, it's hard to know unless you've weighed it beforehand. But
yeah,
well, they look good. They do look like perfect Molson Canadian colors.
I know, they really do, right? And so I know that he'll enjoy wearing these. I felt really bad having to, I wrapped one up for him for Christmas, and then I pulled the other one out of my knitting bag. I don't know, honestly, I feel like this last 3 weeks has just been a whirlwind. There was no knit time. You'd think there would be knit time. I mean, there was knit time on the plane. I did knit them on the plane. But other than that, I don't know how people with 2-year-olds knit. It's not like I had to watch him, but 4 of us were watching him. He's busy. He's not, when I say busy, I don't mean busy in a bad way. He's busy because he's fun and he's entertaining. And we were doing things with him, I think, as we should. I don't want to just be sitting there knitting and say, you just play. I wanted to have fun with him. And that's what we did. And we'd be out walking. When we were in Mexico, we were in the pool with him all the time. So, but definitely there was not much time. And he stays up a little bit late at night, 9:30. So, I mean, we're not that far behind him. And normally, I know I'm a night owl, but there were a couple of nights, 10:30, I was in bed. I'm tired. So he wore me out. But anyway, these were a gift, and I'm really happy to have them done. 72 stitches seems like so many more stitches than my normal 60 or 64. But
tell me about it.
And I can't believe you knit as many pairs as you did. And here I am whining about one pair. But anyway, I am happy to have them done, and I absolutely love this yarn by Timber Yarns.
It is. It's
you knit all of those pairs in Timber Yarns.
I knit all of them
Yeah. And this
I think
marl
I
is
only
something
did
special.
I only did one 3x1 rib pair because I did them all different. But the year before when I did all the work socks, it was like, yeah, I was ready to be done with 3x1 rib.
And you know what? That might have been my issue too, is because normally, and I mean, we've talked about this before, I normally knit socks on a 9-inch circular. And I have to admit that with 72 stitches, I didn't find it as easy to do. And halfway through, I switched out and
Yeah.
I went to 2 16 inches. So that adds time too, because then you've got to fiddle with the needle. Because I don't like magic loop. I use magic loop for another project that I finished that I'll talk about. It's just not my ideal way to do things. I really love my 9-inch circulars for socks. But I am happy to have these done and be ready to move back into a 64 stitch sock on a 9-inch circular. So that's those. What's up next for you?
My next is another sweater. So this is the sweater that was actually started before the Deep Dean. This again is another Beth McDonald stone. This is the Calabash. And I do have a banner.
Yeah, sorry. I've got something to do, don't I? I was busy reading.
Okay, so again, this is a pattern by Beth McDonald Stone. This one actually just came out this week. So if you are interested in this sweater, she does have a 20% discount until the end of the day on December the 7th. And again, gorgeous sweater. I loved knitting this yoke. I love knitting this yoke. I did use ladder back jacquard technique in it down at the bottom where you see the strands of it's got to do with this calabash tree that's got these like kind of gourd like fruits.
They're gourd, yeah.
Yeah. And so they get farther and farther apart down at the bottom. So I did do ladder back jacquard down there. This is done in Full Moon Fibers 100% Rambouillet, which is a fingering weight yarn. This is yarn that Kelly got for me when I had COVID and she was at the shop and we're FaceTiming back and forth. And it's like, no, I want that. And so anyways, gorgeous yarn, feels amazing. So this took 3.5 skeins and they were 50-gram skeins, but I think they had 250 or 260 yards in each skein. So I think it's like a woolen spun. So it kind of like when you block it too, it kind of blooms. And then this yarn up at the top is the Knitting Loft Care in the baby doll colorway, which I love. And I love the juxtaposition of the rustic-y yarn with the kind of like shimmery, elegant yarn. Just like I love the way the two go together. The sweater does have a split hem down at the bottom, which I can never think I'd get this by now. And so the back is longer than the front. And again, I've got my little, where is it? Brick bubble tag on it over here. So I just picked a different color of the little grommet to put it on. Again, this one has short rows in the back neck. So you're doing the short rows in the rib before you get into the body of the sweater. And then down at the bottom, your back is longer. So it does hang nice. It is slightly A-line in shape, like you do kind of do a few increases out. But I love the way it fits. And actually, like, Ross is usually like, oh, yeah, it's okay. Your sweater's okay. He really likes this one.
Oh, really?
So, yes. So anyway, again, it's out this week. She has different variations in it. Like, believe it or not, this is the length of the shorter one, but because I'm short, it's not really that short on me, but you can do it longer, or she has a tunic
length. Yes.
Yeah. And she does have a different variation for the sleeve where the sleeve can be more poofy and then just come in at the wrist. So this is unusual for me. I usually don't like reverse stocking stitch, but I think in this, it just sets off that yoke.
It really does.
It really does actually set up the yoke.
I think it makes those the calabash gourds pop even more.
Yeah. And this yarn, like I did alternate skeins, but the yarn is not variegated, like it is tonal, but it's amazing. Actually, when you've got the reverse stocking stitch side, you actually don't see that as much.
Can you turn it inside?
Yeah, because look. Oh, okay. Let me
show how you can put your fingers behind.
Behind that, yeah. Okay, so here's like the yoke. So where I did the ladder back is down here. So you can put your fingers right into because you've got like a separate layer of fabric.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not attached to the fabric, but you're still catching it so that it's not a long, loose float.
Right. You sort of
So
create a
I
felt
will,
stitch. Yeah.
yeah. So I will, I'll link that tutorial that I use. I use the tutorial by Suzanne Bryan is the one that I like. But there you can see how you can see the different variation in the yarn more on the, like around the sleeves on the stocking stitch side than you can on the reverse stocking stitch side. So actually for this yarn, it's perfect that it was done the other way. It kind of blends more.
Yes.
So
yeah. It mutes it
but anyway,
a lot more.
Yeah. So again, so there is a discount on that pattern until December 7th.
January 7th.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're in January now. January 7th. And yeah, it's like I said, it was, like it took me longer because when I got down to the bottom and you're doing A-line and it was just a lot of stocking stitch, and you do kind of do a short row and reverse it so that you're actually knitting all the time instead of purling. Same with the sleeves, you're knitting all the time instead of purling, even though you've got the purl side forward.
Yeah. Beth has a new podcast out. I watched it this morning while I was finishing up something, and I don't know if it came out today or yesterday. I feel like it came out yesterday, but she does talk in depth about that calabash sweater and where her design thoughts came from with that. She has a couple of variations of the sweater that she shows as well. And she even talks about, I don't want to spoil it. You should all watch it, but her first car that she had, she wanted to park it in a safe place, and she was parking it underneath a calabash tree.
Not a good idea.
They were dropping, and she had these dents in her car that she wasn't expecting. So
yeah. And her pattern, I think she's done 2 different variations of it, and she uses spin cycle up at the top. Now for mine, I use the care, but it only took like 0.34 of a skein, but the care is 100-gram skein. So I'm pretty sure in most sizes of the spin cycle, you would probably get that yoke out of 1 skein. So.
Okay. I was just going back here in comments. Barb says she also has a 2-year-old granddaughter, and she says she takes knitting when she goes, but she never really gets anything done on it. So now I understand that, because she says she has too much fun playing with her.
To Jacqueline's, it's like, and it's always 6.
Yeah. And then Julie says she's actually in Mexico now, and she has only knit 2 rounds on her sock today. And hey, Julie, I feel it. That's how I felt after I came home after being away for 2.5 weeks. I thought, oh my gosh, this is shameful. I knit nothing. I really knit nothing. But most of the knitting
when I
got
go
done.
away, I'm still up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 hours before anybody else is up, and I knit until they get up. So.
I know, but it just didn't feel like I was up earlier. I was up maybe like 6:30, 6:45, and I had like an hour or 2, but that still just didn't feel like I got as much done as I wanted to. I don't know. But anyway, it was about the vacation. It wasn't just about the knitting.
Oh, I know. I know.
All right. What else do I have? So I finished another thing. Because I enjoyed this pattern so much, I wanted to cast on all the other riptide things. So I cast, this is one of the things I cast on in Mexico, and I finished most of one, and then I did the other one yesterday. But this is the riptide mitts. I do have a banner. I don't think I have any finished pictures. This is what you're going to get. These are the riptide mitts, fingerless mitts by Jennifer Shields Toland. And so it's just one more riptide thing I used. And I hope that it's going to, when I turn my hand this way, you catch it. This is using the glitter starlight yarn from the Knitting Loft. And this colorway is called Pea Gravel. I love these.
I can't find a banner, Kelly. You have the vest, but not the mitts.
Oh, really? Oh, sorry. I thought I did.
Okay, I'll put it in. I think I can put it in. Keep talking.
Oh, I know what it was. I did have a picture in there, I think, last week. That's what I did. And then maybe I checked those out. Oh no, there they are. So this is Jennifer's pattern picture. Which is suspiciously similar to my color now that I'm looking at it. But anyway, so this is the Starlight yarn from the Knitting Loft. It is a sport weight yarn. I think the pattern actually calls for a DK, which would be the same as this, but I just used the sport weight and I had no issues. I made the size medium, and you can see all of that glitter. And this yarn is so incredible. And I love that variation. It's just, it's a little bit.
Well, it's tonal, right? It's
tonal.
Not.
It's more tonal than variegated. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I used 33 grams to make these out of a 100-gram ball. So it means I've got 64 grams left. I didn't weigh it, or maybe I did. Maybe I wrote it down. No, I didn't. There's the banner. Sometimes I write them down if I'm good at weighing them. But anyway, so I've got 66. Now I want to move on and make the, I bought the pattern today to make the her 135 riptide scarf. I'm going to make the size 1. This isn't enough probably to make the full pattern, but what I will do
I think
is,
I got pretty close though with that.
yeah, you did get a whole set out of
Yeah.
it, didn't you? So
Yep.
what I'm gonna do is just carry on, and I'm gonna knit to the point where I reach the
It's a
halfway
point where
point.
you can, yeah, it's a point where you can go halfway and then go the other.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
knit to 33 grams, whatever that may be, wherever that gets me, and then I will just backtrack out of that to knit the second half. And it's meant to be it's just basically one of those little, like a shawlette kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a little bit asymmetrical in the point at either end. It's a little point, but then it has just a few repeats of this pattern in there, and it has a nice is it an I-cord edge? I feel like it is. You gave it away.
No, I can't. I did. I gave it away. Yeah. I can't remember. I know. So now I have to cast on another set.
But these, I just want to say, this would be an absolutely lovely and quick gift knit. You could knit up a few pairs of these and just stick these in that gift bin for next year if you really wanted to get ahead of things, because it really was quick. And I like that it's a plain pattern on the front. Yeah. And then the little bit of a rib. I didn't block these or anything. They are just off needles, but I really, no, I don't block things like this. I will block the shawl.
On my hands.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I block the shawl.
The only difference I guess that I did make to the pattern is that I did do a twisted rib.
Rib. Yeah.
I just like that. And okay. Also, this is the alternating cable cast on. There's a real close up of it. See how nice that looks?
I know.
And then this would be the the Italian sewn bind off, because I didn't do the setup rows. But you see how it really mimics.
Yeah, you would never know that they're not exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like cast on and
bind off. And it just gives such a
finish.
Oh, it's like a plump finish too. Like you can feel that denseness around that top edge that I really like. And then you get that same feeling at the bottom. And then your sew bind off, it is stretchy. It's not like over stretchy, but it's definitely stretchy. I use it a lot in socks too when I do toe up. So
yeah,
there you go. So I'm probably going to cast this on next because I really want to have a matching set. Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking like a DK yarns that I have. And if you only have like 50 grams left over, like a pair of those mitts is perfect.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, okay.
So Barb's just wanting to know, can you say, is it Brick Bubble?
Brick Bubble.
Brick Bubble.
Brick Bubble. I'll link it in the show notes. I better write that down. These things I'm going to link.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. So my last finish is.
Oh my goodness. That's so cute.
Okay. So this is a story about this. Okay. Everybody knows I've been saying that I've been cleaning up my yarn room.
Yes.
This sweater was done except for the collar and the buttons. It was like, and I swear this is from before Zoe was born. And I was.
Is it in your whips? Is it in your Ravelry whips?
No, this is before I ever was recording things in Ravelry. So this is Elizabeth Zimmerman's baby surprise jacket. So I do have a banner. I'll never find it.
I did do a Ravelry page for those mitts. Somebody was just asking about that, and yes, it's done. It's updated. There's not a photo in there yet, but the patterns are done.
Okay, so this is the baby surprise jacket by Elizabeth Zimmerman. So the pattern is so old that it's like a paper pattern. You couldn't buy it. When I actually bought it, you couldn't buy it online. You can buy it online now.
But it's still so many of those are done on Ravelry. That's a really popular pattern.
It is. It's a really popular pattern. And look how it makes it, like the yarn, the way the pattern's written, you honestly can't tell it's a sweater till you're done and join it up. Have you ever made one of these?
No, I haven't. But I've seen like a lot of people talk about the construction and how fun it is.
Yeah. It is. And then it's got like, It's got like a little bit of I-cord. It's the way you join the shoulder seams too. You've got like an I-cord ridge along there, and then it's got I-cord along the button bands. So here's your increase here. Like I can't even explain it, but you honestly don't know what you're knitting until it's done. And then I really like the option of the little collar up at the top. So this is actually done in Drops Fable. So, and I believe it's just color numbers. This is color 910, but it's kind of like a blue self patterning. So I've still got enough left there. I think I'm gonna do the newborn socks and maybe a little hat. So this was all out of like 250-gram balls. But like, it's so cute.
Adorable.
I want to make more now. And it's like the perfect project to make for, it's the perfect project to make for a baby with like a skein of sock yarn. And I mean,
thought you were going to say, I want to make one for myself, because you always
No, I don't want to make one for myself. But I do think it's perfect for baby because the sleeves are wide, so you're not fiddling with getting their arms in, but it would just be like a little bit of warmth over top of the sleeper or something. And I just think it looks, I think it's the construction and the way the design comes together that I just really.
Yeah, that's what Barb was saying too. She says it looks like a puzzle until you put it together, and then all of a sudden it's just a sweater.
Yeah. And there's even the pattern instructions even have, if you want to put a hood on it. It actually, Kelly, would you say that it actually does go up to adult? But no, I'm not making one for me.
Well, there you go. Lisa's in here and she says, that would be super cute. I would wear it if it was an adult size. So there you go, Lisa.
There you go. It goes up to adult. Well, you could probably like use up all sorts of bits and pieces of your yarn, like a great stash project.
Natalie, it's a scrappy project. Get on that.
That's right. So, but anyway, so that, and then this little tag that I have on there is just it's just a little heart that says handmade. And those were some that I brought back from Turkey. And these little buttons were just buttons that I got in a package that had a bunch of little buttons on it. And
it's very cute. Very cute.
I'm very happy with it, considering, like it had been there for over 6 years and I didn't finish it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So what's on your needles?
Precious little, because I've been cleaning my needles off. I have been working on this for Beth, her test knit. I'm also doing the Deep Dean. Oops, it's stuck in my bag. And I have knit on it a couple more inches since I've gotten home. But I'm at the point now where I need to put this on a cord and check for some gauge and check for some sizing. But I can show you what I have done so far. I really like it. I absolutely love it, actually.
Like, I love it in that. Like, it looks so different.
I know. It's like a different sweater.
What yarn are you doing? It is.
Yeah, I can't wait to get this done. And I'm using the Estelle Eco Tweed DK, although I do think this is a light DK. And I did also see on Instagram today that Miss Julia cast this on, and she is using a hedgehog.
The hedgehog Tweedy.
Is she using Tweedy or another variation of the Tweedy? I thought it's something a little bit different than just Tweedy. But Tweedy is what Beth McDonald Stone used for her version that I was kind of loosely basing this one on. I like it when the neps are really, oh, that's not even focusing, too close. I like it when the neps are really integrated into the yarn, as this one is. And I have to say, this is an extremely economical yarn, and it feels amazing. It almost feels, I don't know what the content is. I'm going to say this and probably sound silly. I'm going to say it feels like there's some cotton in it, and then there probably very well is some cotton, but it really feels good. It's going to be like that lightweight sweatshirt. I just know it. And I'm going to love this, and I'm going to get a lot of wear out of this. Where was I going next? So yes, I definitely want to see Julia's, because I did struggle to get gauge. I think the pattern was written for a 3.75 at 23 stitches. I was getting with this like 17 stitches. And this I feel is a very lightweight DK. Yeah. Like I would almost more call this maybe a sport, so more so than a DK. So I was a little surprised at how loose my gauge was coming out. So I am all the way down to a 3.25 to get in the range of gauge. As I said,
that's what I did on.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to check this again now, and sort of now that I've got an amount of stitches on there, just to see. But again, some of the things that I liked is how she's integrating these short rows in the neckline. So like there's the front neckline and there's the back. So short rows in a way that we're not maybe as familiar seeing. Normally we see them into the yoke of a sweater. So it's kind of clever. I think, well, it's really clever to sort of disguise them into the neckband. So yeah.
Okay, so
I'll report back.
Julia says she is getting engaged with the Tweety on a 3.75.
So what I want to see, Julia, bring that Tweety on Saturday, because I definitely want to hold it up with this yarn and I want to see what's the difference, because I feel that Julia and I are similar engaged. Like if she tells me what she's getting engaged on a certain needle, I can get that gauge based on her say so. So I'm really curious to see where this one stacks up to the Hedgehog Tweety, because I've never actually had that one in my hands. So anyway, that's thing one I'm working on. What are you up to?
Okay, well, like I said, I haven't cast on a new sweater because I thought I should finish up some of the ones that I have already on. So I pulled this back out again. So this is the Paul Clay.
You are stash diving in whips.
I am going to finish these. So this is like, I'm got all the colored part of the yoke done. I just picked it up and put it back on. So I've only done about an inch more, but I just pulled it out today. And so right now I'm working on, it's kind of like a round yoke up until you get the colors done. And then there's a raglan part to it. So that's the part that I'm on now. So the yarn that I'm using, and this is a pattern, I should pull in the
banner, I can look at that. Sorry.
Okay, this is a pattern by Midori Heroes, who wrote the Ranunculus pattern. But this is the Paul Clay sweater, and it is a pullover, long sleeved. I can't remember the weight that she called for. I'm using, my main color is the Rauma, and this is the Phenol, and this is the color light gray. It's color number 818, but it's light gray. And then all of these colors that are in here, a couple of years back, I did Marie Wallen's Primrose sweater, and I bought a kit from the Woolly Thistle, and it was in Marie Wallen's British Breeds yarn. And these were all leftovers that I had from the kit. So they worked out perfect. And I knew, because they all went together in the sweater, that they'd all go together in the yoke of this. So I just pulled them into that, and I actually still have some left. So maybe I'll have to do some fingerless gloves like that have some pattern in them to match it. Yeah. But anyway, so this
honestly, that's not a sweater that really spoke to me or called my name to make, but seeing yours now with those colors,
I love it.
I kind of really like it.
I really like it. So anyway, so that's the rest basically. Now we'll see how far I get, because the rest is all just plain stockinette. So, but I do need something like that. I don't have anything like that on the go at the moment. So I do need something like that for coffee shop knitting. But yeah, so hopefully this will be farther along by next week. So
very nice. Okay. And then
what else are you working on?
Well, I think I worked on it a little bit before I left, and then I did do a little bit more after the cast on, though. So I'm not a whole lot further, but I just found all the ball bands for those Molson Canadian socks in another project bag. See how that works out?
Imagine.
Imagine that. This is the, I'm wondering if I ever had a banner for this.
I don't know what it is. What is it?
This.
Oh, yeah.
I do. Okay, there it is. Okay. Moon Bumps by Maxime Cyr, who is one half of Les Garçons. And so I think I did do a couple more sections.
Yeah, I think you did.
The bumps. Yeah. And I was playing with the idea, and then Noelle sort of straightened me out, because I was like, No. I didn't mean it in a, no. Okay. That came out wrong. I meant, I was wrestling with this and I was feeling a little floundery. And then she's like, okay, well, try this. And I think I'm going to take your suggestion, because you got it. So it's using, okay, I'll start here. So this is their sport weight of their fluff of the Les Garçons yarn. And this one is colorway Mist, which you might think is a little bit of a green, but it's kind of deceiving. It's like a green, gray, blue. It's really beautiful. It's just beautiful. And I'm pairing it with my skein of Spin Cycle Dyed in the Wool Ghost Ranch, which is, probably hands down their most popular, well-known color.
Yeah, one of them anyway.
I was thinking, well, do I have to use yarn management? Because this is what I started doing. It's like, I didn't want my colors to duplicate here. So I was going pulling out a color, knitting with it, and then cutting off when the color changed, and then going to another. Whoops! Whoa! It's like a yo-yo. Going to an going to another skein or another little rolled up ball. But Noelle gave me a suggestion, and she said, "Why don't you just work inside, outside, and let the colors change organically?" And I think I'm going to use that suggestion. I may still do a little color management because I definitely want to make my way into that teal, right? Like I want to hit.
Yep.
All of them. There was only one color in there that I wasn't really keen on, and I did use it right at the beginning just to sort of get it out of the way, because in my mind, my head just couldn't wrap around it. It didn't look like it belonged there, and it was sort of that bright bumblebee yellow. And I just think the rest of this is so like fall, autumn, muted colors. To me, this one was a bit of a struggle. So I wanted to get it in there. To say I used it, but I wanted to get it in and out of the way. So then this just continues along, and you just keep adding these color bumps in as you go. I think there's a specific number of rows because I haven't picked it up since I got back home. But I'm really enjoying like the absolute decadence, I guess, of this fluff yarn. It's just amazing. It is really a dream to work with, and it has like this, the cord in there is almost like a black. And so I'm wondering what the fibers are. So it's 55% baby alpaca, 18% fine merino wool. There's 17% mulberry silk in there, 10% yak. And that's where those dark fibers are coming from. And then it says it's 100% dreamy, and they're not lying. It's 100% dreamy. So I'm really looking forward to getting this project going. So maybe that's what I'll kind of pick up next, just to work on something that's a different fiber, because it really is fun to work with. And these little rows that you stitch in are pretty fun. And then I've been fairly diligent that I'm completely finishing them, weaving in the loose end, everything when I'm done the stripe, so that when I'm done this, I'll be done this. I'm not going to have to go back and do anything to it. It will be like ready to block out a little bit and wear. So it's really nice pattern.
Okay, so Paige wanted to know if you have any trouble or any issues picking up the bumps when you pick up after you've done the I-cord.
No, I didn't. It was a little, I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit of a learning curve. You have to kind of get yourself in, develop what your routine is going to be, and then stick with that, because I think it's consistency. Like I would say that my first one doesn't look quite as nice as the later ones. I was, I think, pulling in a little tight, like right here. You can kind of see a little bit of a space right there, that it kind of creates a little bit of a hole. I know it's hard to see on camera, but down here, by the time I've gotten down to this one, I think I'm doing much better. Like that fabric is very nicely integrated, and everything looks really well done. And then Noelle had a suggestion too, because you're doing a cowl of the same pattern. And she suggested, instead of going back in to do this like embroidery stitch that you do across, she's doing hers on that row right on the needles, so that you're going to have that perfectly spaced. You don't have to second guess if you're on the right row or not. And I think that's a really good suggestion too. So I will probably work on integrating that into the next one. Yeah. It's a really nice pattern. And I think this one's really, I think maybe looking at it from the point of view of a male designer, I think this one is definitely, I mean, you could make this for yourself as a woman, you could make it for the man in your life, or, you know, anybody that you have. I think it speaks well to any gender, and depending on what colors. And, you know, I would say like even, I would use all of these colors in a Makealong, because it is all of these like rustic sort of colors, even though there's pink and everything in there too. I just really like all the way the colors play. And I like how dark this contrast is to this really light and fluffy yarn. So having fun. I also think it would be pretty to do in a neutral base. And I think we saw one that was done that way a little bit differently. And I think that's just an entirely different look. So it's just whatever look you're going for, right? Okay.
Yep.
What else are you working on?
So my latest cast on, that was my New Year's cast on, because after Christmas I didn't cast on anything new until New Year's Day. But I know that I had said that I wasn't going to do I wasn't going to do socks next year. I said that, but then at the end of the year, I said, yes, I am going to do socks. So I am going to do family socks for the whole year. So
you literally just summed up childbirth. I'm never like, as you're in labor, I'm never doing this again. And then as soon as the baby's in your arms, oh, I so want another one. You're just literally doing this.
I did say that in childbirth too. I said, I am never doing this again as long as I live. Apparently I was wrong.
You went on to do it 4 more times.
I did. So anyway, I decided that when I was in New Zealand, I can say last year now because it was last year, we had such a wonderful time, like at Hobbiton and all the, like a lot of my kids are all into the Lord of the Rings stuff and Ross is into it. And I just watched the movies for the first time. So I decided everybody is going to get a Lord of the Rings themed pair of socks. So I went on Ravelry and I've actually found most of the patterns. So Ross, of course, said he had to be Aragorn because Aragorn is the king.
Okay.
So he said, I can't make those for anybody else. They have to be for him. So I found this pattern and it is Aragorn by Janique Matt. She is Moonwise on Ravelry. And this this pattern is a free pattern on Ravelry. So it's, I tell you, you got to be able to read some Middle Earth to read.
You are setting yourself up, my friend. These are complicated patterns.
But I know, but it's the kind of knitting I'd like to do.
But you also know that the family is bigger by the end of next year too, right?
I know. So I have started them and I love it. I absolutely love it. So here's the pattern.
I love those. I love socks like that too.
So, and it's all like the rib is all, it's like 2x1. It's all twisted. It's all, the whole thing is all, every knit stitch is a twisted stitch.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, the thing is they are going to look gorgeous. They really are. And this one is also going to be, I was short one female character pair. So mine are going to be this pattern, but I'm just going to call them Lady Aragon.
Lady Aragon. Yes.
So,
absolutely.
Anyway, so that's this pair started. This is the yarn that I'm using that I have not yet used.
Is that the yak, the merino yak?
No, it's the Rowan. Rowan has come out with the sock yarn. So it's Rowan sock. It is 75% wool and 25% nylon. It's a single ply, but like it's strong.
Oh, that's going to give amazing stitch definition.
But the definition is just like amazing in this. So it's perfect.
Oh yeah, it's popping. It's popping.
Yeah. So anyway, so I'm in love now. I mean, I do have to sit there with the pattern, but I just kind of have to have a general idea. I'm getting good at knowing it's got a lot of twisted stitches in it, but a lot of the twisted stitches are a twist between a knit and a purl. But anyway, it just looks gorgeous.
I love it.
So and most of the patterns that I picked out for this year are all similar to this.
That would make an amazing pattern for hand warmers too.
Yes.
Yeah,
it would.
So Nancy is telling you, I'll just pop this up for you. Nancy says that Helen from Giddy Yarns has Lord of the Ring colorways.
Oh, okay. I might have to have a look at that. But I think I do think that
way to go, Nancy. You're gonna break down that yarn spree, aren't you?
I have enough for the 4 months before I can buy any yarn. But anyways, I do want to pick more like solid tonals because I really want the pattern to show up.
Yes.
I think when you've got that much texture, you don't really want a variegated yarn or you're going to lose all the work.
Agreed.
That pattern.
So. Wrong one. Okay. Karen says that she is from Hobbiton, New Zealand.
Yay.
And she's happy that you enjoyed your visit there.
Yeah. I want to go back. I want to go back. I want to go back to New Zealand. So.
Is this in your list? Patricia says that she's knit the Samwise sock. And Who Boy. Yep. Oh my gosh.
I have. Yeah, I've got them. It was hard finding the female characters. It was easy finding the male characters because there's 9 in the Fellowship of the whatever they call it. I have to rewatch the movies again. But
I've also never seen the movies. Maybe this is the year for me to watch the movies and then I know what the heck you're knitting and what you're up to. Maybe that's a challenge for myself. Winter is coming in Southern Ontario. Yes. We're just entering our icky part of winter.
But winter is coming is Game of Thrones, Kelly, not the Lord of the Rings.
Oh no, I know that. I know that. I would love to do Game of Thrones socks, but my family's not really into that. I'm trying to think of like the one thing that my family would be into. If there is a Christmas vacation socks, then they would know about those. That's about it. I think that's the only
Yeah.
thing that the entire family follows. Did you watch The Family Stone over Christmas?
I did.
And
It was sad.
but it's good, right? Like, do you get why Kendall and I have to watch that year after year?
Yes,
Because
but
it's
it was sad.
well, yeah, it is very sad, but it's such a good movie though, right? Aside from that. Okay.
Anyway, so
Next.
those are my plans. So we will see. We will see. I even found there was even a kids version. It was Samwise and Rosie's little girl. There's even, I forget her name, but there was even a pattern for that. And then I thought some of them I would be able to downsize the adult version into a kid version. So I mean, it's only day 2 of the year, but I'm hyped. We'll see.
There's still people in here bringing. Marianne says I could do Christmas Vacation Dickies. Oh my gosh, Marianne, I'm serious. My dad had so many of those Dickies. I saved a few out for Damon. But Helen is saying the Mithril socks by Low Bug Designs. Looks,
yep.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're in there. You know what you're looking for sure.
Yep. So
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, so I kind of like to have a theme. So
and Lee is telling me I have to watch the movies. Okay.
Yeah,
right? How have I lived this long and not seen them? Okay.
Well, that's my kids made me watch them. I watched them in New Zealand.
Okay. All right. I will do it.
Would go to bed and we'd be like, okay, you have to watch Lord of the Rings.
Anyway, okay. So where are we at here? You didn't get anything? Or did you have anything else? Are you working on anything else? Is that it?
That was all I worked on this week.
Okay. All right. Did I get anything? Yes, I did. I'll just show you. So I went to, when I was in BC in Chilliwack, I went to the Chilliwack Yarn and Craft Supply Store, which is a really nice yarn store there in Chilliwack. Every time I go there, I find new things. But one of the things that they carry, and I've bought, I think every time I've ever gone there, they carry the line Gathering Yarns, which I know that we have locally at Jean's store, but they seem to have more. And I didn't realize the line was this big. So I bought this time. This is their, it's called Cashmere Reborn, and it's recycled cashmere. I don't know, recycled how or what way, but it's 95% recycled cashmere. And honestly, it is like, it's like butter. It's so soft. I know I haven't thrown that one out at you for a while, but it is. It's really, really, really soft. And this is just a really nice neutral taupe. They come in 25-gram balls. So I just bought 2. And plus it didn't hurt that she was having a 20% off her entire store sale. And it is milled in Italy. And so it's quite affordable. And it is a fingering weight. And I thought at 50 grams, this would make like another lovely pair of something like this. I mean, who wouldn't love a little cashmere, recycled or not, on their hands? Or I thought something like Sophie scarf. I don't know. I think it's dark enough to wear against skin. I know my skin color is not my normal skin color. I'm still carrying a little Mexico with me, but I really like the color. I just like that nice neutral kind of goes with everything taupe, right? So that's the one thing that I got. And then I also picked this up. I have no idea what I want to do with this either, but it spoke to me. It called me. And it's a Barocco yarn that I haven't seen. It's called Mystico. It's 48% cotton, 30% alpaca, 12% wool, and 10% nylon. Look at that.
Well, that's pretty. That's pretty.
Right? And so it's so soft. It kind of has that look of like fluffy mohair, but for those that are not as thrilled with mohair as some of the rest of us, this is like next to skin soft, and it's that really lush, fluffy alpaca. This comes in 50-gram balls, skeins, cakes, whatever the heck. I don't know, what are these things called? Cakes?
Cakes.
50-gram cakes. And it is classified donuts, maybe a donut. Yeah. It's classified as a 4 medium. So that would be a worsted. And although it doesn't look like it's worsted weight, I have a feeling that because of that fluff, it can knit up to fluff. Yeah. So I think this would be, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. This could be a cute hat for Miles, maybe. It could be a really nice scarf. I was thinking, it's only 50 grams though. So I'm not really sure, but it just felt really nice and it wanted to come home with me. So I got those 2 things. I also did partake in the Knitting Loft sale because I wanted to. And it has been shipped, but I haven't arrived yet. And so I really hope it hasn't fallen into some dark, deep well at Canada Post like my last order, but we'll see. Okay. Nancy says it looks like drops air. It does, Nancy, but it's definitely got more consistency to it than that. It's like this cord is fair. I don't know why I feel like my camera is over here, but it's not. It's a fairly dense cord of yarn that's in there, but it's really, really soft. And Barb is saying, yes, they're called donuts. Okay, donuts. Who doesn't love a good donut? All right.
Okay. We should probably get going.
We should get going. I know. Oh my gosh, 1 hour and 41 minutes. Good Lord. I don't know where the night went. Thank you for those of you that are all 620 here. 622 of you that are hanging
with
in.
Us. Well, we had a lot of prizes to give out. But,
we did.
Anyway, so next week we'll go through knit-alongs that we'll have going. Yes. So there's definitely socks. So keep working on your socks, and we'll get a thread up and running for that for 2024. Yeah, so just cast on some new things. We still want you to use your stash, but still support local yarn shops. Like a good goal is to not have your stash grow. So you have to knit what you bring in.
Maybe we could just say, you know what? I've heard this when they talk. Just know your limit. Know your limit.
Exactly.
If you're at, you know, everybody's limit is different, and
right.
don't be apologetic.
Nope.
Just know your own limits.
Everybody's level of the amount of yarn that doesn't cause them anxiety is different too. So like if
Absolutely.
if a large stash makes you happy, go ahead. If you feel like that you're anxious about what you've got, then know yourself and do what works for you. So
yes,
no judgment on anybody.
Absolutely not. You know what? We talked about that last week. I was so lucky. It's so nice to be able to travel and have friends already there where you go. And I have made friends with some people in BC, and I met them when Kendall was living in Delta. And now that she lives in Chilliwack, they are still willing to drive out there to visit with me. And it's a group that meets, I think, in the White Rock area, a knitting group. And then I've met some other people. And then Darlene has now become part of the White Rock knitting group. And we met Darlene in Chicago. And Darlene's going to the retreat in Canmore in February. And so they drove out to Chilliwack to meet with me, and we spent 3 hours in a coffee shop, and it felt like 10 minutes. And Jackie and June were there as well. And it is just amazing, you know, again, and I've said this so many times, but I'm going to say it one more time, just that we have been so blessed, and we are so lucky to have this internet circle where we can make friends and meet friends in person from our online adventures. And I had just a great time. And I'm so appreciative that they drove out there to see me. And yeah, it's amazing. It just makes me feel like wherever I travel, I'm never far from home because we have friends around us. And that's really special. So, okay. Well, I guess
so
time has come. I don't want to go.
So we hope that you all have an amazing week. And yeah, hopefully you get lots of good knitting time in or crafting time in if that's what you want. And we will see you next week. Thanks for joining us, and happy knitting.